Oh my God. Christ. All right, that's the end of the show, guys.
Wow.
Are you happy?
It's Monday.
Morning, everybody. It's another motherfucking Monday. Martin's not here to enjoy this.
Skibbity, 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 spin. Stop. Hammer time.
And my head is so congested this morning. Having trouble breathing. If I pass out, you know why. So we're going to be talking about the 1960 movie, The Alamo, with John Wayne. And it's not like just starring John Wayne. John Wayne produced this with his partner. They had a company called Batjack Productions. And it was such a horrible experience for him. And this is something 15 years in the making. He started wanting to make this movie in 1945. And he was with Republic Pictures at the time. And he got a writer involved that led to him hooking up with John Ford, who is his main director, his son. And his son ended up taking lead on writing the screenplay. And then there is a big blow up between the executives at Republic Pictures and he told Republic Pictures, go fuck yourselves. John Wayne left Republic Pictures. And lo and behold, this script that he paid for, he wasn't allowed to take with him. It was contracted through Republic Pictures. So they kept the movie, and I do believe made their own version with Glenn Ford, which isn't really quite the Alamo. It's about the Alamo, and yet it's another kind of movie, you know, with Glenn Ford being the sole survivor. And because he was sent out to send a message or some shit. And basically, people call him a coward in the movie, and blah 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 blah. It doesn't sound like that good of a film. I've never wanted to see it. The Alamo, on the other hand, I really do consider to be kind of a masterpiece for John Wayne, but I can see where a lot of the negative criticism came from for it, because it's more of a John Wayne movie all the way up until the first battle. It's just kind of your standard John Wayne movie.
Well, I never watched it because he was cast as Davy Crockett. I was like,
well, he wasn't cast as Davy Crockett. He was made to play Davy Crockett.
He didn't want to star in the movie. He just wanted to make it.
Forced to play it. He just wanted to produce and direct, and the studio wouldn't give him money unless he guaranteed. That was the guarantee. Financial guarantee, because people think, oh, they just give you money. No, they want a guarantee with the money they give you. The guarantee for the studio and him was for him to be in the movie. So they
and for them to make it in Texas.
Yep. Well, that was the investor. That's another story. Okay, let's not cross our streams yet. And so he gets the money from the studio. That's only part of it. The other part was he had to also put up to $2,500,000. But he didn't have to put that much in because he only put 1.5. Whereas he went to investors in Texas because this is a huge thing in Texas to make this movie. And they agreed to put in about 1.5. And the odd thing is in the end, this is a $12 million film, the final budget. And the marketing for it was a lot cheaper back then. You know, it's not like since the 80s here. because basically in the 80s, double your budget was what the rule of thumb was, but it's not that way anymore. Now the marketing is usually around 1/3 to half your film budget. And they try to limit that. But I've seen Disney go overboard with Marvel to where I know they spent the fucking budget of the film on marketing. And it doesn't always help. And they've learned that. It's like...
have they, though?
Well, I'll tell you what. I try to stay away from entertainment news and talking about it. They have learned something because they have shut down all of what do you call it? They broke them up into fifths right now. Phase 4. Anything from Phase 4 isn't coming back. Nothing from Phase 4 is coming back. It's all gone.
Well, because none of it made money.
Yeah, it cost them money. They lost money. And by the way, George Lucas said it again in a recent interview that Star Wars, the property, is for boys, which is rehashing why Disney, Bob Iger bought it. Bob Iger and Disney bought Marvel and Star Wars for one reason and one reason only: to keep boys watching Disney after the age of 12. Because they were losing half their audience when they hit their puberty. And
that isn't rocket science. It's literally math. It's like, oh, well, boys stop watching our movie. Boys stop watching our movie after 12.
And they managed to Meshuggah and fuck that up. It's like, we're going to make Star Wars female. And look what that did.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
What they did with Marvel.
They bought it for what, $12 billion, and it's worth half that now? Probably under that now?
Well, I have said all along that if you pay attention to the numbers, what they're spending compared to what they're bringing in, they haven't turned a profit on Star Wars yet. And if they have, it's so minute, it's not worth mentioning.
And even if they sold off the IP, I don't think they'd make money on it.
And it was 14. I think it was 14 billion, wasn't it? 14.5.
I've heard 12 and I've heard 14. I'm not sure which one's right. But I guarantee you, even with the money they've made so far, if they put Star Wars up for auction now and sold it off, they probably wouldn't make their money back.
I got to tell you that one of the things that we heard in the rumblings was the possibility of not selling it, but leasing it. But we'll see. This next phase, over the next year, this year and next year, it'll tell you whether they've done anything good. Andor, even though I haven't watched it except for part of the first season, I'm going to go back and watch it because I know it's good.
Big fan over here. Big fan.
I know that it's good. My problem is it doesn't feel like Star Wars, and so it turned me off. But I'm going to go back and I'm just going to try to approach it as not a Star Wars fan, but as just a guy that likes science fiction. So
it's definitely not for general audiences. And that's what Star Wars was supposed to be. It was supposed to be for everyone, children.
And and I hate to shoot an arrow through Joe's heart. The reason why that show failed with the what do you call it? The fungus zombies.
Oh, Last of Us.
Last of Us.
Oh, that's the second season completely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like the second season fumbled, but the first season fumbled too. They lost a lot of audience in the first season because they veered too far away from the characters of the game. And of course, that's the guy that took over the game. And the game's fumbled too. It's failing miserably.
Oh God.
And they tried to masculinize the girl. And you're going to turn off the audience when you do that.
I haven't finished the second game. I haven't finished the second game because half of it you have to play as Joel's killer. And I just
no thanks.
No, thank you. I don't need to know her perspective. She killed my favorite character. Screw you.
Yeah.
He did not direct that film. He did produce it. That was Bat Jack Productions. This is the only film he ever directed, Glenn. And the reason why is because he got rode over the rails by John Ford over this movie. John Ford was a very mean-spirited dude. And one of his favorite targets was John Wayne. And John Wayne looked up to him like he's a dad. I'm serious. He really admired John Ford. And John Ford just destroyed him over this movie. It was such a bad experience. He never wanted to direct again. He stayed away from it. But he would fight with directors. And I do love this movie. And it has a place in my heart. I watched the Disney produced one. And don't get me wrong, they got a lot right. But they went with one guy's fucking letter at his death saying, a Spanish soldier, wasn't even an officer, saying that that Davy Crockett surrendered and was executed with other soldiers. And I'm like, first of all, you wouldn't even known who the fuck Davy Crockett was when you were there. You're only saying this because he has built up such a name that you want to leave something behind that will make you be remembered because you wrote that. And the fact is, it should be dismissed immediately. Most historians, and I'm saying all historians, most historians agree that the reports from Santa Anna's military and as well as those that witnessed what happened, that he died in combat along with the other men. Only a handful survived the combat. And I wouldn't refer to it as true surrender. It's when you become overwhelmed that your weapon is no longer able to do anything, you just stop fighting. You're like that overwhelmed that it's not surrender. It's if they had an opportunity to kill, they would still do it. But it's like, well, that's it. You're done. And Santa Anna had a rule for two of the main battles during the revolt. No prisoners. And if you weren't allowed to leave after that battle, you were executed right there on the spot. Jim Bowie died in his bed. He was dying anyway. He got a form of pneumonia. Well, that's one report. The other report was that he had tuberculosis and it was in its last stage, killing him. But the movie shows kind of how he probably died. They lied in the movie by having his slave. The real slave's name was Sam. And there's no evidence he even went to the Alamo with him. Odds are he was probably left with Bowie's wife, who died while he was there, too. She got sick. A lot of information about this movie sits in my fucking head. That's because I grew up with this shit with my dad. My dad was a history professor. So there you go.
Wow. Didn't know that.
So let's go through some of these comments in the chat. First of all, hi Snorty. Hi Emmanuel. Hi Tom Baker. Who else is in the chat? Slasher Fred is here. 11 Alpha, good morning. And of course, my buddy Glenn Fleming is here. So let's, what about Greenbrier? Okay, he shared the duties. Ray Kellogg is the director. But what he does is he bullies his directors a little bit. So it's kind of like he's directing. But no, he didn't direct that film. Kellogg did.
Backseat directing.
He's a backseat director. He really is. And he ran into some problems with one director, a very good director who worked a lot with Clint Eastwood. And he directed the Cowboys. And I can't think of his name right now. Oh, my God. Come on, Gary. Come on, Gary. Come on. You can do this. You can fucking do this. You can do this. Oh, my God. I swear to God, this drives me up a fucking wall.
Don't let it.
Great fucking director.
Which movie?
Mark Rydell.
There we go. There it is.
Rydell made some of my favorite movies, like The Long Goodbye, which is he's like a director, he's a producer, and he's an actor. And he appeared in a lot of good films, including The Long Goodbye. But what film is it where he got into a fight with the director? I'm trying to remember. Because it's the guy that directed Clint Eastwood, and he didn't do that movie. Kind of a bitch. You guys can talk, by the way.
I'm sorry, I'm drawing.
Just babble.
Babble incoherently. My brother thought it was kind of funny to tell me this guy looked like he was flipping us off instead of holding a pistol. I thought that was pretty funny.
I mean, he kind of does, yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Wait, what was? Oh, in the drawing. Okay.
Yeah, look.
I'm seeing it. That's good.
He said, "Man, it looks like on
totally
that bottom panel, it looks like he's flipping us off." You know. Oh man, it's funny. I was drawing it the other day on the show. But yeah, man. Like I said, I've never watched the Alamo because the casting is John Wayne as Davy Crockett. That just, you know, what's that guy's name that played Davy Crockett on television or in the Disney movies?
Oh,
you
big
know
tall guy. He also played Daniel Boone.
Yeah,
same actor, Clint Walker.
Yeah, that's it.
That's Walker.
Yeah, I think so. I'll look it up real quick. But
yeah, look it up. It's a tall dude. I know that.
Right. Let me see. But that's why I never watched this movie. You know, it's kind of like I'll never watch the one where he's Attila the Hun either. I mean, it's just, you know.
Oh, it was The Shootist. It was his last film.
Okay.
That John Wayne fucking set. It's Don Siegel, the director of Dirty Harry, and he set Don Siegel off in one scene where one of the first things they shot was up in the big country. And he's up on the horse, and he's got to shoot that guy that hiding his pistol under his wallet as he's pretending to throw it to him, and he shoots him. And he complains, well, John Ford wouldn't have shot it that way, which just pissed Don Siegel off. He goes, well, I'm not fucking John Ford. I love stories like that, man.
Yeah, the guy that played Daniel Boone was Fess Parker.
That's it, Fess Parker.
Mm-hmm.
This is when Bruce Dern plugged Wayne. I think. Well, John Wayne told him when he came on set. He goes, "Boy, do I feel bad for you." He goes, "Why's that?" And he goes, "You're going to be remembered as the guy who killed John Wayne," and it hurt his career. It really hurt his career.
Are you talking about Bruce Dern and the Cowboys?
I just said that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, bud. I'm drawing. You know, sometimes I get laser focused.
Oh, I didn't know your ears stopped working.
Yeah, they do stop working.
I'm teasing.
Tell me yours don't.
I'm the
Come
same
on,
way.
man.
I'm the same way. I do the same thing when I'm focused. Animal like talk to me and like say a whole bunch of shit, and I'll go, "Wait, what?
What? Sorry, I had a pencil in my hand.
I was laser focused drawing. Sorry." Yeah, I liked Don Siegel, and what's odd though, they started off really rough, but they ended up getting along really well during the film, which John Wayne was afraid of because he doesn't get along with a lot of liberals, and but he got along with fucking Siegel, and Clint Eastwood the same way because he's always been conservative, Hollywood conservative. And he and Siegel got along great. They worked together many times. Laurence Harvey was one of the weirdest picks for this movie. Frankie Avalon, not such a big jump, but fucking Laurence Harvey, who is Lithuanian by birth and lived in South Africa and then became a British citizen. And so he's like one of the weirdest fucking accents you've ever heard. And in this movie, he does not sound like a man born and raised in Texas. He tries to, and he fails miserably. John Wayne, I could take John Wayne. My problem with him playing John Wayne is he wore typical John Wayne clothes instead of clothes that a Kentuckian would have worn. He wore Western clothes and the kerchief around his so as usual. Very John Wayne. But that was part of the deal. The image of John Wayne is what sold this movie to the studio. So it took place in 1836, I think March, wasn't it? And it was rough. They'd had two major conflicts. This one involved really more than anything the liberation of Texas from Mexico. And you'll get some bullshit historians. They'll say, well, they weren't called Texicans if they were white. And I'm like, that's a fucking lie.
All right.
That's a lie. And I know that's a lie. You can try to rewrite history. Some of them were called Texians, but the fact is people who were born in Texas, whether they were white or not, referred to themselves as Texicans. And they wanted Texas to secede from Mexico. Now, of course, Richard Boone here, great fucking actor. Best known for his TV series, Have Gun Will Travel.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Boehm, right there, that guy that they just showed, fuck, I'm never fast enough to hit pause. The guy in the center right there, that is the actor best known for playing Festus on TV. And he was a John Ford regular after they did The Searchers. And there's Patrick Wayne. He's playing a historical figure too. He plays one of the mediaries between Houston and Travis. And he is playing the first cousin of Travis. That character, Patrick Wayne, is playing the character. It's based on a real guy that was the first cousin to Travis, who held command at the fort, well, the Alamo. It's hard to call it a fort, but they did try to fortify it. And the film gets some of the history right here with what was going on. And they really did believe that they could hold it for a few days. We can get them reinforcements. And reinforcements were not coming. Houston got bogged down, and the reinforcements went from 1,000 to 500, and that 500 got slaughtered on their way by Santana's troop. They got ambushed. Santana was a brutal motherfucker.
Which is also why he wasn't around for very long.
Yeah. And I will tell you also that they show the conflict between Bowie, Crockett, and Travis. And that only lasted really part of one day. And they came to a conclusion that they would have shared command, but Travis would be the overall person in charge. But Bowie went overboard, and that's supposed to be Sam, Bowie's butler. They call him something else in the movie. And he was not there, his slave. Nor did he write a letter freeing him. That was all for the movie. Yeah, they call him Jethro. That's not his name. His name was Sam. And like I said, I don't know if he was there or not. There is zero evidence he was ever there. No word of mouth. He was not on the list of people who got to leave.
And I imagine that was pretty common after the Alamo too, is, guys trying to claim they were on the list of people who were released. Or
yeah, one of the guys, Louis Rouse, I think is his name, said he was one who made the claim about drawing the line in the sand. Travis drew this line in the sand. Those that are going to leave, stay where you are. Those that are going to stay and fight with me, come across the line. And that never happened. That guy was proven to be a liar. He was never there. Yet that story still persists to this day. Even though once you debunk the guy, you debunk the story. One thing I also like about this movie is the opening artwork. Those paintings, just gorgeous paintings.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
beautiful.
the production value of those flicks back then were just something else, dude. They really paid attention to what was going into every frame.
Well, especially
Yeah.
considering the special effects budgets they had to work with and the technology they had in 1960, they did a fucking amazing job on this one.
Yeah. And by the way, the character that Patrick Wayne is playing is John Butler Bonham. And like I said, he was the first cousin to Travis. Travis was a Texas lawyer. And he didn't own property that I'm aware of, which is brought up in the film. Because, one of the criticisms of Bowie in the film is his only interest is that he's a landowner in Texas. And which I don't think is why he was there. He was there because he believed in what they were actually working for was to make Texas a state, to secede from Mexico and become part of the United States. Although, with the agreement of becoming a state came the rule that they remained their own republic, the Republic of Texas. And that's why at any time they can secede from the United States if they want to. That's why it kind of gets threatened every once in a while. You'll hear it pop up.
Yeah.
And this is true. He was drunk when he got there, but it's not true that he was a fucking drunkard. He did take the drink, but he was suffering from physical maladies. And rather than taking opium, booze helped with the pain. And he was sober when the fight took place, the argument between him and Travis, who was in command, because you got three colonels. Because Davy Crockett was a colonel, Travis was a colonel, and so was Jim Bowie. Now, Bowie and Crockett got along fine, but it was like it caused a problem with Travis, but they really dramaed it up for the movie. It makes it all the way to the end of the fucking movie that Bowie had a problem with him. That's not true. He may not have liked him, but he worked with him just fine. The only problem was that it became tyrannical. The rules became tyrannical on the Alamo about drinking and hooping it up, and that's true. Travis didn't like that shit. That's crazy, dude. Are you serious? Laurence Harvey, the guy that plays Travis in this, his daughter was a real life bounty hunter.
Wow.
Oh, by the way, Slasher Fred called out the name too on Fest Parker. Let me get some of these comments. We got Don Siegel was great too. Absolutely, Tom. Don Siegel has made some great fucking movies, including his last John Wayne's last movie, The Shooters. He was one of those guys, and this is why John Wayne liked him. He's one of those guys that left politics on the doorstep. He did not bring his politics on the set, and he appreciated that. Now, I wouldn't say that John Wayne did that, because when they weren't shooting, if he wasn't playing chess, he was sometimes arguing politics, debating. And he had a rule, man. You step over that rule with him, you were done. And this happened to Mitchum's younger brother. What's his name? James? Was it James? Anyway, he took hubris with something John Wayne said and stood up to him. And John Wayne knocked him down with some facts, and it shut him down. But what's bad is the way he did it in front of other people pissed John Wayne off, and he never got to work with him. They did mend fences later, but he never had him back to film again. And John Wayne was funny like that. And it's always bothered me, because I think you should be a little more forgiving. If you want to show you're the better person, be more forgiving. And by the way, the character he's playing is a great character too. He's a real fucking dude. And I'm trying to remember his fucking name. Ken Curtis, best known for playing beloved Festus on Gunsmoke, is playing Elmeron Dickinson. And it's true, his wife refused to leave the fort. She's the one who said, I am the wife of a soldier, and these are the children of a soldier. And so they stayed there, and they ended up having to take cover inside the chapel itself. And they showed that in the movie. They actually showed that. And what's really cool is the really cute little daughter in the movie. That's Alisa Wayne, John Wayne's youngest daughter. Similar issue with Mogadishu and Lieutenant General and 3 colonels all running a mission involving only a few hundred soldiers. Yeah, we refer to that as a Charlie Foxtrot.
Well, that's something we've actually
Cluster F.
That's something that we fixed in the military this year. Is apparently we had more flag officers in the military in 2024 than we did in 1944, when our army was 5 times that size.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous. Something interestingly that ended after pretty much ended with World War II was technical sergeants.
Yeah,
we had these guys were technically sergeants, but not with the command. They don't have the right of leadership. They're technical sergeants by rank. So now they're just called Spec 4s.
Yeah.
And
they've got Spec 4. I think it's up to 6. I think you've got Spec 4, 5, and 6. I think you have. I think they put chevrons on top of. You know what I'm saying? No, rockers. It's like a rocker flipped upside down on top of the specialist. I think it's 4 through 6.
And I'm not even sure those exist anymore. I think
really.
I think those stopped during the GWAT. I've only ever seen an E4 specialist.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, just to let you know how accurate recording of who was there, they actually recorded what Almeron said before he went out to die. He went into the chapel to announce to his wife, "My God, they're inside the Alamo." And he turned to her, he says, "I love you. If you survive, raise our children well." And he walked out and died.
Wow.
The Spec 4 Mafia.
The Spec 4 Mafia, that's right. Look out.
I've heard of the E5 Mafia too. I've heard of the E5 Mafia.
After 3 years, I only got 1 bump in rank. I was a PFC when I joined, and I was a Spec 4 when I left. You have to murder people to get rank in the MP Corps. It's ridiculous.
Good morning, Mephisto. Wish you could join us, man. So who all is here? Let me go look. Anima's managing everything here. So we got Snorty, Emmanuel, Tom Baker, Slasher Fred. Keith is in the chat.
He popped in to say hi.
He should join. I wish he'd join us. Eldridge, Lord Hastor. I didn't see that name. So good morning. And of course, our good buddy, 11 Alpha, military buddy. Glenn Fleming, of course, my limey prick friend. Mephisto and Gambit. Good to see all you guys. Good to see all you guys.
You said the limey.
Yeah.
Make me think of Terrence.
We're doing that tomorrow, by the way.
Are you? Good.
Yeah,
we're going to do. Yep.
We're doing it the limey tomorrow because the Chief's not going to be here, so I'm going to take over his slot for the day and talk about the limey and Terrence Stamp.
That one hit me heavy yesterday. Really did.
Great fucking actor, man. Been around since my childhood. My favorite film with him, though, is The Collector, directed by William Wyler, one of my favorite directors of all time. He directed The Big Country, which, I've talked about that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Chuck Heston, Gregory Peck, Burl Ives. That's the famous scene when he kills his son, played by Chuck Connors. He says, "I told you to do it, but you didn't listen to me." He kept saying throughout the movie, "One day, boy, I'm going to have to kill you." All the way through the movie because he'd do something stupid in front of his daddy. But I just got a receipt of a medal from Belgium for my dad's service in World War II. The
Nice.
King Leopold II Medal of Honor. I'm going to have it mounted with the rest of his stuff. Fantastic, man. Fantastic. I used to have stuff. It ended up with my aunt for my grandfather. And he got the Croix de Guerre for his warfare in France, defending France. He got some other awards too, but that was one that I was like, oh, that's so cool. You got a French award. And the French are horrible. Except for Emmanuel and Regis. I love them. Really, Tom? That's cool. That's cool. I love those, like running into people in life, like not going to a convention, you run into a celebrity. Well, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But
This,
like with
this
me,
is 11 Alpha's answer, Gary.
okay, so my mom collected stamps. Oh, fuck you up.
That was funny.
I went grocery shopping and ran into Jennifer Aniston right here in Springfield. And I was Christmas shopping a few years later for Zoe. And I went to the mall. And in one of the big department stores, I see the other Brad Pitt wife, Jennifer. What's it?
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie is there. Neither time did I approach them because it's like they're fucking doing their life stuff. He was there buying gifts, and because they were going to be here in Springfield during Christmas with Brad Pitt's family. They're all from here. Well, this is funny because, I saw earlier, was it Gambit that said this? I'm not sure. Somebody said something about John Wayne's speech here, and it's not really a speech. He's kind of telling Travis, because Travis comes up to him and says, "I'd like to deliver this speech." And he says, "Is the speech about like how you want to turn this state into a republic, or this Texas into a republic and become part of the United States?" And Travis is taken aback by that. And he goes, "Oh, don't forget, man, I was in Congress. I've heard all the rumblings of what you're trying to do here." And so he lets him know that. And then he goes into a breakdown of the meaning of a republic and why it's so important to him. And that isn't Davy Crockett talking. That's John Wayne talking.
Yeah.
Because John Wayne was 100% USA, man. He loved this country.
Well documented.
That's one of the reasons I get annoyed when I hear, "Oh, it's our democracy." It's like, you might want to ask our founders about that one because they knew all about it and wanted nothing to do with it. Gary, you're on mute.
You're muted. But that's okay. We'll get there. John Wayne, what's it say? Did John Wayne get injured during the set of this? I don't know.
He was injured several times on movies he did. I just don't know if this was one of them or not. Because back then you didn't have a ton of professional stunt guys, so a lot of times you were the ones doing this.
Right.
And they work with horses a lot, so.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, John Wayne, from all accounts, was a pretty good rider.
Well, that's pretty obvious from a lot of his movies. A lot of his westerns and stuff.
Yep.
My favorite movie he ever made was Sons of Katie Elder. I've always loved the cast of that one because it was such a great ensemble.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I love that one. I really do.
Obviously, my favorite John Wayne movie of all time is Sands of Iwo Jima because
Oh, Sands of Iwo Jima! I must have seen that 100 times, man. Because I think I've told you before, Pope. We had a movie projector.
Testing.
What is? You got it.
Yeah.
You
You're
got
back.
it, buddy.
Yeah. My microphone got kicked off the system for a few minutes there, and I had to get it back added back on.
What millimeter, Gary, was the movie projectors we had as kids? Was it 8
At
millimeter
school?
film?
A
No.
lot of them were
We used to
16.
have them here at the house. That's how we watched movies before VHS.
Well,
remember
16 millimeter is the better version, but yeah, a lot of people had 8 millimeter.
Yeah, that
movies.
we used to shine that on the wall, on a white wall, and watch Sands of Iwo Jima. I've seen Sands of Iwo Jima 100 times. I've seen The French Connection, and these are edited down 15-minute versions with subtitles, of course, right? Little reels. But Sands of Iwo Jima, French Connection, and High Noon with Gary Cooper. I've seen those 100 times.
I didn't just speak to him. I actually personally knew him. He was just a genuinely decent human being. I love Rutger Hauer. Searchers, we just talked about that not long ago. That one's got a lot of good views. Love that. Let's see. My dad also got a French medal posthumously, the Legion of Honor, and Chevalier, which I always loved. That was chivalry. Chevalier is like a knight.
Yeah. Well,
I'm waiting for the Dutch.
That was the French word for knight.
Yep.
It's also where we get the word chivalry from.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, boys and girls, it's time for me to hit the
It's
road.
that time.
Gotta go get Mama. So, you guys be good.
See you later, Joe.
All right, buddy.
I'll see you later this evening, all you viewers, and you guys. I will see on Wednesday when we finally do. What is it? Dead Heat. We're doing
Dead
on
Heat.
Wednesday. All right, be good, guys.
God.
See ya.
Bye.
See you, buddy. So, well, okay, during the set, but I guess people pretend to get injured. Yeah, that's true. Especially today. You got just a bunch of pussies walking around fucking Hollywood now.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that movie. I can say I've never watched the movie because I just refused.
I've seen bits of it, and that was all I needed to see.
Now, this is that scene that was brought up. This is where he's just breaking down his love for a republic. Yeah, a feeling that can only be compared to the birth of a child. Louis Jourdain got a medal of Chevalier at age 94, just 2 minutes before his death. What did he get it for? I'm curious. I don't know if he ever served in the military. He was in France during World War II, so I would think maybe he served.
A lot of them weren't in the military. A lot of them were French resistance.
Yeah, the French underground.
Which
one thing they never want to talk about when they show D-Day in a movie, they never want to talk about the French that did side with the Yazidis and killed Americans.
Yeah. And they also, when they talk about the French resistance, they also never want to talk about the fact that most of the casualties the French resistance took was other resistance cells ratting them out to the Gestapo because they were the wrong type of socialist or disagreed politically.
Yep.
The French resistance was a complete nightmare.
Well, yeah, when you hear Legion d'Honneur, that kind of explains to you it's an order.
Yeah, sort of like the Order of the British Empire.
Yeah. Lawrence later joined the cast of The Manchurian Candidate. Yeah, it's one of the films he's actually best known for. And it's a good film. A film that did not need to be remade.
No, it did not.
Great cast, Liev
so
Schreiber, fucking Denzel Washington. Terrible fucking movie. That movie was meant to be told during the Cold War and only works then.
Yeah, and like, that's what I hate about them remaking movies from like the Cold War period for the modern days. Like, it doesn't work. It was specific to that time period, and we don't have anything like that in the modern day.
Read that.
Ah, yes, the Vichy
Vichy
French.
yeah.
That's who they were. They were the ones that were out there killing Americans on D-Day.
And in North Africa.
Oh, yeah. But that's one of those things, like when you see a Monty Python film and somebody says something and you see members of the cast, like it's the tiger scene. He was killed by a tiger in Africa? That's the way Hollywood is with the Vichy French. You mean there were Frenchmen that killed Germans? I mean, Americans?
We don't talk about that.
Oh, I don't. What are we talking about? Yeah, it didn't need to be remade, but again, Weisenheimer's prevailed in 2000. I don't know what Weisenheimer's is. I know the word. I don't know. Is that referring to a movie? I don't know that one. I don't know that
No
one.
idea.
It's just for the memory, remembering his passing on the. Yeah, I'll have to look it up later. I don't have time now. I like the hats worn in this film. I really do. These are Texas hats. Even the sombrero they wear in this movie are they're Texican sombreros.
I've never heard that word before watching the movie.
Well, you've got some asshole historians out there saying that it's appropriate to call a white Texan at that time a Texian, and only Mexicans from the region Texicans. And I'm like, that's bullshit. Anybody that was born there was referred to as a Texican. Stop trying to rewrite history, you cocksuckers. Fucking hate these guys. And the guys that do that shit are almost always, just saying, that I've found have always been lefties that do this shit.
Well, I mean, they have to make history fit their little historical narrative.
Well, there was the race thing. They always want to throw in the race thing.
Well, that's part of their whole narrative. They're like, oh, well, there was always this divide. Not really.
No, not really.
And keep in mind, Mexico had literally just won their independence from Spain, who were also not Mexican.
Yeah, this character, I don't know who she's based on. I don't know anything about this one. She's based on anybody historically.
Well, I mean, movies at this point were famous for throwing in a female character like this in historical movies that really weren't there.
And she is a great actor. Linda Crystal, she only died like a few years ago. And she was a little sex pot, but she was Argentinian. And she made it big in the U.S. The French order system is no distinction, military and civilian grades. Yeah, I know. Unlike the OBE, so Johnny Depp gets the same Legion of Honor as a military officer. And that's I don't know, that fucking bugs me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be like saying the Presidential Medal of Freedom is the same as the Medal of Honor. It's like, no.
Yeah, it's sort of like when lefty lunatics like to use the word courage and stunning and brave and all that shit. And I'm like, this person was so brave. I said, look, I'm not saying it doesn't take an ounce of courage to fucking stand up and say who you are in front of people that are probably not going to like you. But it's not the same thing as ducking bullets at Normandy.
Or
it's not even fucking close.
Or, in the case of most Medal of Honor recipients, committing to an action that damn well
you're going to kill you. Yeah.
That's pretty much one of the requirements. Is it's not just that it's suicidal bravery; it's willing suicidal bravery. You know what you're doing is incredibly dangerous.
Yes, it is Linda Crystal, but it's with an I, not a Y. But yes, that is her. And she's a great actress. And I love The High Chaparral. Great Western series.
Mm.
And agreed, Glenn. She is just beautiful.
She is.
Which is ironically the kind of woman that John Wayne was attracted to. All the women he had relationships with, for the most part, and married, were Mexican.
Hmm.
He loved the passion. He loved the way they looked, and he loved the big butts too. He liked big butts, and he cannot lie.
Many such cases.
Yeah, this movie, what it does is it throws a lot of Hollywood at you, and that's the dramatic parts. They do get, I would say, close to 65% of the history right. The newer film was far more accurate. It really was. It's far more accurate on the relationships, the command, everything, the decisions that were made, what happened. The only one that I got angry at that movie for was having Davy Crockett surrender and be executed. Because I'm like, one fucking dude wrote that in his dying memo, and no other officer from Mexico, no adjutant to fucking Santa Ana, said that happened. Nobody corroborated that story. Nobody.
And I hate to say it for a movie from that period, but I guarantee the reason they included that story is it makes a classic traditional American hero look bad.
Yeah, that he surrendered. And it's like, first of all, it's not surrender when you fucking get overrun. You fight until you can't fight anymore. And that's what happened at that fort. And it really was fortified, so therefore we can call it a fort. No, it's the Latina heat. Let's see. Let's do this one. My dad got his medals for jumping out of a C-47 on D-Day. The French give Johnny Depp the same medal for being handsome. There you go.
That's
Good one, Glenn. Good one, Glenn. I don't know if the stats have changed, but I think at one point most UMC Medal of Honors were possible. Yeah, I remember reading at point back into 2000. I think only one was survived. So they are
from my generation. Only two that I'm aware of survived the attempt: Kyle Carpenter and Dakota Meyer.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Dakota Fanning.
No, that's the name that went into my head. I'm like, wait, nope, that's not right.
Dakota Fanning served her country. God bless that girl.
But apparently Dakota Meyer just re-enlisted.
That's incredible, man.
And I've seen the video for how he won his, and I still, to this day, do not understand how he didn't get killed.
Now, I'm curious, when somebody re-ups or continues their military service, extends it, they have a little ceremony. In the U.S. Army, you're allowed to select certain things to be done, which can really be fucking funny. And I've seen some really good ones where they have to swear back in again. Did they do that in Marine Corps when they re-up?
They do. I don't know if he did, but it must be. I wouldn't want to be his commander. Just like, oh yeah, by the way, like you're in charge, but you have Dakota Meyer in your unit, so no, you're not.
It's great stuff, man. I love the Marines, man. I do. You know, I know we've had the jokes and stuff about the jibes between U.S. Army. The closest thing to brothers that we have are Marines.
Oh yeah.
When we're infantry.
And there is absolutely nobody on a battlefield, well, other than the enemy, who is sad to see the Marines show up.
No.
It's like the army guys are like nudging each other like, dude, this is about to be fucking hilarious.
Well, you get these guys that serve in foreign militaries that have admitted, including like the guys from the Netherlands. I heard one of their guys say something one day in an interview, and he says, "Man, you really wanted to be sent out with Americans a lot of the time when you know you were going on a mission or an operation." And the other guy says, "Why?" And he says, "Because you knew if shit went down, the United States was going to send everybody to get them."
Well, I remember this letter from a French officer. This was during Afghanistan, of basically like any other unit or any other country, like when their officer goes down or whatever, everything just stops and they just sit there and wait for orders. The Americans, it's just like, well, you've just removed the regulator from the war crime machine.
Yeah. Remove the regulator. There are so many things that could be considered war crimes that we've done, including Audie Murphy on that fucking tank buster, opening up on Germans with a 50 cal. It's like,
Oh God.
Every hit is a war crime. Every single bullet hit is a fucking war crime.
But he got away with it.
Well, it's one of those things of...
There she is. That's John Wayne's daughter right there.
Okay.
His little girl. She's good in the movie. She's cute as a button.
But did she ever do anything else? Or was it just this one?
I think I saw her in some. And by the way, that's Joan O'Brien playing what's his name's wife, King Curtis's wife in the movie. He plays Captain Dickerson. And Dickerson absolutely died in combat. He had been wounded multiple times and then was bayoneted to death on the ground, as I read. And one of my favorite films with O'Brien was a little comedy, came out in '59, directed by Blake Edwards, starring Tony Curtis, called Operation Petticoat.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got Cary Grant, Tony Curtis, and Joan O'Brien, and Dick Sargent. Dick Sargent's in it too, who played Darren. Later played Darren. He played second Darren on Bewitched. Okay, so I left this up. I'm glad you left it up too. Once Dakota Fanning became well known, I'm guessing Dakota Meyer got a fair amount of teasing, ribbing.
Oh, probably.
I knew you wanted to address it, so I left it up.
But that was funny.
And that's one of the awesome things about that brotherhood is we don't give a shit if you have a Medal of Honor or not. We're just going to say it because it's funny.
Yeah, there you go. You keep going.
Yep.
Filming began on September 9th, 1959. It ended in December 15th. A total of 500,000.
560,000.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's blurring for me. It looked like all zeros. So 560,000 feet. That's 170,000 meters. A film was produced for 566 scenes. Despite the scope of the filming, it lasted only 3
weeks longer than scheduled.
Yeah, and in the end, he owed up to $2.5 million on the budget, but because they were able to finish on time, he only ended up putting $1.5 million into the film out of his own pocket. He mortgaged his house and some of his other properties and sold some of his most expensive cars to pay that $1.5 million. By the way, there is a great American right there. That's Denver Powell. Great fucking actor. Best known for Dukes of Hazzard as was he daddy or grandpa? I can't remember. Anyway, he was the old man on the show. There he is. And the hat he's wearing there is worn in honor of the guy who wore it in The Searchers. Anybody want to take a shot? I told this story before. Let's see if people remember.
What story? Sorry, I had to go close the window because they're loud down there.
the same style hat was worn by John Wayne's best friend, Ward Bond, in the movie The Searchers. And as a nod to his friend had just died before they made this movie, because he wanted Ward Bond to be in this movie. He'd been planning it since 1945. And he, like I said, he had done it with Republic Pictures. Republic Pictures, when he walked, told them to go fuck themselves. They wouldn't let him take the script by John Ford's son, and they kept it and reworked it and made their own film. He went off and had to have it redone, rewritten, and he ended up working with what is that guy's name? James Edward something, and he was somebody who had worked with John Wayne, and was friends with him, because he directed he wrote the film The Angel and the Bad Man with John Wayne in particular. And he had worked on the Comancheros, and I cannot think of the guy's name, but they had a friendship, and so he came in and wrote the screenplay for this movie. But I wanted to explain that stovepipe hat, that specific look, is similar to the one worn by Ward Bond, and so he had this character who was a friend of Davies wear the hat in the movie, because this character would have been played by Ward Bond if he had survived. By the way, that guy standing over him there, that's Phil Wills. And he was a comedian, actor, and singer. And he did a lot of folk music, always funny. I don't know who this dude with the patch is, but he's a terrible actor. I guess he's a friend of John Wayne's or something in real life.
Probably.
Yeah, Richard Boone is absolutely one of my favorite actors. He always played Richard Boone. He's one of those actors that just had that much of a bombastic personality that he just went up there and played himself. John Wayne's the same way. He did act. Don't get me wrong. John Wayne could act. And if you don't believe me there, go watch the fucking Searchers. That's not John Wayne, half that movie. He's playing a dark fucking dude that's tormented by demons. It's scary as hell. And they had to throw a love interest in for John Wayne. This is all, again, to make their money back. And the movie did make money. The film was done on a $12 million budget, and it made over $20 million in its first run. So, you're talking about in a time when they would only spend about $100,000 tops on marketing back then. It was so cheap.
And in a lot of ways, too, I mean, the box office was all important because there was no home video release. There was no streaming.
Nope.
It was
exactly
this is what you get.
Only thing they had was network television.
If the movie did well enough.
Yeah, if the movie did well enough, and this one did because it ended up on ABC. Movie of the week.
And even then, it would show once or twice, and that was it. So, you had your one shot to make your money.
Okay, I didn't know that. Are you serious? I don't think so, Snort. But I'm going to take your word for it. You had to have read that somewhere, so I didn't know that. Never was a big fan of Francis. I was a fan of Mr. Ed, which is a ripoff. Well, this is the version we're watching right now is the theatrical release. Oh, this movie? Wow. That surprises me.
There's also different games they play with that with international markets where they'll show different versions of the movie and all that.
Dune is one of the really one of the most fucked with movies overseas. Blade Runner, just a tad bit. The European release is what ended up on the VHS when it got released. because it had the gore in it. The theatrical release had some of that toned down. And so we still got the theatrical release on VHS, but the European theatrical release of Blade Runner.
And then you get into the, does it have the opening monologue? Does it not? It's all, there's like 4 different edits to that movie.
Yeah. And who did it? Because in the European release, it was much longer, because the final cut of that movie is, I think, 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
And for Dune, that was David Lynch's cut. And I told you I got invited to dinner as Ron and Judy Miller's +1 guest. And so I got there right when we pulled up to the front of the house and we're getting out of the car. Ron turns to me and goes, "Oh, you can't talk to him anything dealing with Dune." And I'm like, "But that's all I want to talk about." It's like, what?
Right. It's just like, really?
And so I didn't. I couldn't bring it up. He was that angry about what happened.
And I get it, especially from a director's point of view. I mean, you spend all that money and time and effort making that movie into what you want, and then the studio recuts it 4 different ways, and you have no creative input on it.
And what I find interesting is a lot of people who are against adaptations of science fiction books like Dune. One of those guys, I can't think of who it was, but it was famous, said that he defended David Lynch's Dune. He said, that is one of the few movies where I felt like he captured so much from the book. This is another John Wayne regular right here, this gentleman here. And again, based on a real person, including his wife, who said those things. One character who's fictional, but he's based loosely on a couple of people, is the Frankie Avalon character.
And that's a common thing in these historical movies, too, is they'll take 2 or 3 fairly minor characters and kind of smash them into the same person.
You see that in a lot of movies. War Films does it all the time.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor's character in Black Hawk Down is like 3 different guys in that actual engagement, but they all existed, and those things actually did happen.
And Ewan, primary character that he's playing, is based on a real guy who they changed the name of for the movie.
Yeah,
because in real life he RAPD'd his own daughter.
Yeah, that guy did not have a fun story after that.
And he tried to play it, tried to blame PTSD for it. It's like man, no.
Yeah, it's like that doesn't, like, that's not how that goes.
Oh, Fairfax, Virginia.
Oh.
Wow, I didn't know that. I would have gone there. Because I didn't live that far from the NRA Firearms Museum. I lived within an hour of it.
So not that I'm ever willingly go into Fairfax County for almost anything.
I got to tell you, yeah, Laurence Harvey does at times, because he's so thin in the face, the sunken in cheek area here. Yeah, he does kind of resemble Clint Eastwood from some angles. So does this kid, what's his name? He's called Chris Eastwood. I don't know if he's any relation to Clint, but he looks a lot like him.
I'll tell you, the older he gets, his son Scott looks exactly like him.
Oh, it's Scott. That's who I meant, Scott.
Yeah.
But it's his son.
I know. It was a joke.
But it's like, oh my God. Like,
yeah, I don't know if he's related, but boy, he looks like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, but it's just like, did you clone him?
Yeah, it's like he did a photo shoot that looked just like a photo shoot his dad did, about the same age. It's weird.
Like, when I was younger, I couldn't really see it, but the older he gets, the more he looks like him.
Now, I will tell you something interesting, because you just saw that broad shot. And in fact, Anima thought it was a matte painting when they first approached the location. Like, no, that's the real. They built that entire location. And they had to build the entire thing in Texas, because the investors from Texas, the only way they agreed to do it was to basically make sure the movie was shot in Texas. And it's something that they did even with the updated movie. That was also shot in Texas.
Like Texas would ever let you get away with doing a movie about the Alamo and not filming in their state.
Now, the location, to what I understand, is still there. It's called the Alamo Village, and it's in Brackettville, Texas, built on a ranch. And people still do pilgrimages to go there. It's the last I remember reading about it. Now, originally, Wayne only wanted a small part, but again, the studio threatened to pull money and forced him to play Davy Crockett, because he said, well, if I got to be in a movie, I'll play General Houston and I'll have Richard Boone play Davy Crockett. But the studio wouldn't have it.
Well, is this before or after he did the Disney movie about Davy?
Oh, he didn't do the Disney movie.
I thought he did.
No,
maybe I'm wrong.
That was
I
Fess
could
Parker.
be confusing that and this.
Yeah, Fess Parker played Daniel Boone, and when that show ended, or Davy Crockett, he first played Davy Crockett. When that series ended, he went to making Daniel Boone. Now, I know it's Daniel Boone, but it's pronounced Daniel Boone. If you are a fan of Daniel Boone, it's Daniel Boone. Because that's how he said it. My name's Daniel Boone. And I love both characters. Both of them are bigger than life. Davy Crockett and Daniel Boone.
And the crazy part is they actually did half of the shit they talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, Davy Crockett was something else. And I'm not going to let those cocksuckers take that away from him, what he did fighting there. He didn't have to be there. He's a Kentuckian.
Yeah, he could have just gone back to Congress.
Fuck yeah. The guy stayed there and gave his life to defend that fucking little piece of land for the state of Texas.
And like, that's the crazy part is he didn't have to go fight for Texas. He could have just gone back to the U.S. Congress and had a life of ease, but he didn't want that.
No, he was done with Congress, I think.
Well, I mean, that common thread running through there. A lot of actual decent human beings get pretty fed up with Congress. After
well, when you look into his personal life, there's a little bit of a con man to him.
Yeah,
and he would do a lot of things that were skirting the law all the time. But I love that about the guy. The guy was bombastic in real life. The guy was just something else. But every single story you would hear about him was true and probably more horrifying than what you heard.
and a con man going to Congress? That never happens.
Yeah.
I believe, isn't Elisa Wayne still alive? Let me look that up. Am I misspelling it? It's Aisa. I'm sorry, Aisa. And she's still alive. She is still alive. She was a child in the movie, but yeah, she's still alive. She's I don't know what she's doing now. I don't think she's working. She hasn't worked since the 70s, I think, or the 60s.
No,
60s?
she did Dreaming the Quiet Man in 2010.
Oh, the documentary. Yeah, she's in that documentary. That's right, because she and all the Wayne and Ford kids were in that movie. All the production's children were in that fucking movie, The Quiet Man. And Patrick is still alive and kicking. That's right.
Oh,
and by the way, Alf, I don't know if you know this, but he is one of the Waynes who served his country. And he served during the Vietnam era in the U.S. Coast Guard. And I used to poke fun at them. And then until I learned what some of those guys fucking go through. And I'm like, okay, I'm never poking fun at the Coast Guard again. And but I still poke fun at the Civil Air Patrol. I remember this girl I was involved with one day told me she was in the Civil Air Patrol. And I said, oh, is there an uncivil air patrol? And she was really insulted by that question. But I'm like, why call it that if there's not an opposing force?
Well, I mean, there is an uncivil air patrol. They're called naval aviators.
Naval aviators.
Were you still involved with her after that?
Also, Marines can be aviators too.
True.
And this is something that Pope will tell you. Air Force, Army, pilots. Navy, Marine Corps, aviators.
Yep.
They distinctly want that said. They don't like being called pilots.
I still laugh at the fact that the United States has 3 of the 7th largest air forces in the world.
Yeah. Is he still alive?
Apparently. Because the level
Holy
knows his
shit.
shit.
Holy shit. He is.
How old is he?
Well, he was born in 1940.
Holy crap. So he's what?
84. 85.
85.
Yeah.
It's easy math, Pope. I know you're a Marine.
I was going to say easy math, really?
I know Lee was supposedly a Marine. As they said in the movie, he was Maggie's drawers. He was a terrible shot, which that's been challenged. But I know he's not the lone gunman. I know he's not. We know now he's not the lone gunman.
Yeah.
Not the guys I knew. The chopper pilots. They all called themselves pilots. In fact, that's almost where I got to go. There was that temptation when I took my ASVAB and scored high enough. I didn't get high enough for anything above a helicopter. But boy, when they said I could be a chopper pilot, I was like, I could do that. That'd be fun because I love helicopters. But then I stuck to my morals. Became a lowly combat medic. I do like the relationship between these two because I don't think Widmark and he ever did anything together again, did they? I think this is the only film they ever did together, and I like Richard Widmark.
I don't know that they ever did, no.
I know I've read that Widmark can be a real fucking asshole. He was pushy as hell. There's another regular of John Wayne's, and he was in The Searchers too. And you remember him, Anima. He's the guy that just wants his rocking chair.
Yeah, I like that character. Him.
Did you lie to me, Nathan? Did you lie, or am I getting my chair? Is this my chair? This is my chair. This is my rocking chair. All he wanted was a fucking rocking, some place to sit in a rocking chair and have a hot meal. Yeah, now that they're slowly releasing more and more documents, unredacted, we now have a direct connection between the CIA, direct connection with an individual who should have been treated as a traitor to the country. The only thing we're still not sure yet is what Alan Dulles' connection was. But we know that this one dude was directly connected to Lee Harvey Oswald.
And, I'm sure this all had nothing to do with the fact that just 6 months prior, John Kennedy had basically dedicated himself to destroying.
Well, that's why they hated him. They were going to destroy him. They also got wind that Truman had told him, because Truman was the one who formed the CIA, and he told Kennedy that the biggest mistake he ever made was creating the CIA from the OSS.
Yep.
And so he told Kennedy, if you do anything, get rid of the CIA. And we now know from a lot of the things we have gotten from those reports that have been unredacted and released that the CIAs were acting against the interests of the United States and for their own interests.
And I'm sure it's a complete coincidence that, the guy heading up the investigation into JFK's death was none other than Alan Dulles.
Oh my God, Jackie. Oh my God, shut up. Oh my God, you're fucking awful snort. I'm an asshole too. I would get along with Widmark. I'm a dick and kind of an asshole, and I tend to get along with other people like that. Like I won't say his name this time because I hate name dropping, but one of my favorite special effects guys, special makeup and prop effects, and he was on our show a couple times, and I called him out because like during our interview I said, "Oh, you're a dick." As we were talking, he goes, "Wait, what?" I said, "Yeah, you're a dick." He goes, "What do you mean by that?" And he was like really taken aback. And I explained to him, you don't put up with other people's shit. And you give people shit when they try to make you put up with their shit. You call them out on it. And he goes, "Well, yeah. Is that what a dick is?" I went, "Oh, yeah." That's what a dick is. I'm proficient at dickanese. I fucking speak that language fluently. But also, you're really good at dishing it out to fuck with people. And so is this guy. Like Mephisto. There you go. That's why we get along so well. He's dickish. There were over, I'm not reading that one again. Fuck you, Snort, for writing that about Jackie Kennedy. People don't know that in those photos where you see her at the swearing in of Johnson, that's the same dress she wore. And if you look closely, you see the gore on her dress as he's being sworn in. And they asked her if she wanted to change it. She goes, no. He was a very unhappy camper that day. She and John had problems. There's no question of it. She was aware of his infidelities. But she still loved him. Yeah, this is where this is kind of true. It's not totally true. What they're doing is they're taking a cumulative statement in this, that there are several instances where food went bad because the food was not meant to be stored as long as they got stuck there. And so some of the food went bad. But it leads to one of my favorite scenes in the film, which makes it a Western in its own way, when they go and rustle some of the steers from Santa Anna troops so they could eat one last fucking barbecue before dying. Now, I got to tell you, man, I'm sure Pope will agree with this. Man, when you feel sated, you ate a good meal, you kind of don't care if you die. You're like, man, this is the best I'm ever going to feel after having that barbecue. I'm okay with it.
Like, you know what? If this has to be how I go out, I kind of don't hate it.
I kind of think this is why they offer people that are to be executed a last meal selection so they can go out feeling okay. Like, man, I just had a porterhouse steak, 2 inches thick, man. I cut that thing, and people say it's bleeding. It's actually not blood that's coming out of the muscle. I forget the name of it, but it's another liquid that comes out of the body, out of our muscles. Looks like blood because it's made of similar material, but it doesn't have any of the platelets in it. There's no platelets. Oh, what's this? A dozen members of my OCS class Again, for those of you that don't know, that's Oklahoma Cocksucker School.
You said it
OCS is Officers Candidate School. I'm a dick. We're Army aviators. As warrant officers, they already had MOT privileges with officers, but not the command opportunity. Yeah, that kind of falls into what I was talking about. I've never heard that, Alpha. And it's not like I don't believe you. I know how you know your shit, but all the guys I knew that flew helicopters called themselves pilots. So I don't know. I don't know what where the difference occurs. Yeah, going bad back then. That's why so much salt was used to cure meats. And but even then, there's a shelf life on that meat. The drier you make it, the longer it will last.
Yeah.
That's why you have jerky.
Mm-hmm. And ham.
Yep.
And ham.
One of my favorite things.
That I will eat the shit out of a ham. I will sit there going, man, I got to watch my salt intake. Well, we've got ham. All right, I'm going to die today.
Yeah, right. It's just like,
I cannot pass up that fucking ham. And somebody goes, would you like some gravy on your ham? I just looked at them. Would you give that face gravy?
Yeah, right. Just like
I'm a vegetarian, and this sounds wrong even to me.
It's like that's one of those things you look at people like, are you retarded? Like, not even like in a mean way, just like, no, are you actually just not there?
Something's wrong with you, man. Something is wrong with you. You can put gravy on beef. You can put gravy on chicken. You can put gravy on noodles. You don't touch ham. It's cured with how they made it. Like, I like Black Forest ham. I love Black Forest ham. It's my favorite. My second favorite is Virginia's honey.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Oh. I love a good smoked ham, man. Oh my God. My nephew, Jason, he had like 2 smokers at the time, but I think he's up to 4 now. And he's just constantly smoking meat out there and in the back of his house. He also has a really cool swimming pool. It's saltwater swimming pool.
Oh, cool.
And oh man, your buoyancy in there. See, if you put me in chlorinated water, I'm going to sink. I'm a densely packed human being. You know, I'm big, as Cartman would say, big boned. I'm broad shouldered. I get in the water and everything drops. The only thing left at the top of the water is my face fighting not to drown. Look at those longhorns, man. Gorgeous.
And very tasty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he makes fun of pork here. And the pork, I guess you could call that a meat, but beef? And I kind of understand him, but man, I love a good pork chop, seasoned well, not with mint jam. I hate mint jam. That's so gross to me. But I love a good pork chop. And I used to like lamb chops until I learned that lamb were baby sheep. And then I went, oh no. 2 things I won't eat. I won't eat lamb, and I won't eat what do you call it? The young calf. Yeah, veal. I won't eat veal. It's like no, man, no, that's wrong. That's fucking wrong. Are you fucking around, Emmanuel, just trying to be naughty? Is that naughty, or are you being serious that he likes to smoke some meat over there? Because I do. I love a good, I've always wanted to have a smoker so I could smoke some of my own barbecue. And don't get me wrong, I love pork barbecue like crazy, but I really love a beef brisket barbecue. And, shred that and put some, a little hint of barbecue sauce on top of it. Don't mix it, just like smear the bun with it. Put some coleslaw on top of that, and then you put Tabasco sauce. You dribble Tabasco sauce all over the coleslaw. And
Snorty is being a bad bear today.
You are. The cuter, the better.
very bad there.
Emmanuel, are you being serious? You need to answer me. Don't leave me hanging, baby. Gotta know.
That's
Why
on my
would you not be
buy
serious?
list as soon as I get my own house. Is I will have a smoker right next to the grill.
Yeah, it's like if you live in Memphis, why? It's like because it's the entire territory. But I love Memphis barbecue.
Being a vegetarian that lives in that city must be absolute hell because the entire city just smells like smoked meat all the time.
I would not have a problem with that. I'm a very tolerant vegetarian.
And by the way, we also have our own style of barbecue in Virginia, and I love Virginia style barbecue.
Yeah.
Just love it. And that's how we eat it, by the way, in Virginia. The traditional way of eating barbecue is you put the meat on there. There's no sauce mixed into it. And you slather a little bit of the sauce on the bun. Smear it. You don't want, not a smear, just really thin. And then you plop coleslaw, fresh coleslaw on top of the meat. And then you douse it with hot sauce. And then eat the shit out of it. It's fucking amazing.
It's pretty good, I'm not gonna lie.
We treat coleslaw as a condiment in Virginia. I was asking, you said Regis loves the smoked meat too. And I'm like, are you being serious that he likes to do that? Or are you just being naughty? I wanted an answer. Pay attention. What are you doing? Something else other than listening to the show? Jesus Christ. Man, nothing looks more Texan than Travis right there.
Yep.
I would love it if some of our, the folks that watch our show, our audience, could do stuff like that, hook up and meet each other. I love shit like that. Oh, he's super serious. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, we need to first of all go over and visit you. And then you need to come here and bring that smoker with you and smoke some meat here. I love that. I love smoked meats, man. My nephew would experiment on different kinds of wood and seasoning in the smokers. Oh, my favorite though, still to this day, will always be hickory. I love hickory because I had a friend. I don't want to say the friend's name because he's in prison now. Because I wouldn't be friends with him now. I would absolutely not. But we were friends at one time. He was one of my partners as a paramedic, and his father was a sheriff of that town, and his mother had a smokehouse, not a smoker, a smokehouse. And we went out, hunted a bear. I killed a bear, took it to her. She slaughtered it and made summer sausage with it. And it was amazing. Regis is a real man. That's why he likes the show. This is a show for real men and women, real women.
And Snorty, I have been to the Dixie Pig.
Also, by the way, real polar bears.
Yep.
This show is also for real polar bears.
Only the bad ones, though.
Rice with shrimp. I don't know what to think of that. I do like. I like gumbo.
Yeah.
By the way, real
jambalaya.
Jambalaya. Mm.
And
by the way, a real regional made po' boy sandwich.
Yeah.
How did this turn into a cooking show?
Because we're talking about barbecue, and they did the barbecue. And that's why. I
will say the wood I've played around with in the smoker that's excellent that Southerners won't get is maple.
No, I bet that would be good. I like the flavoring of maple. By the way, does anybody know how long the Battle of the Alamo lasted?
It was 72 hours, wasn't it? It was longer than that? Okay.
It was 90 hours. Back. But a lot like most war, battles, it's usually like the Battle of Mosul. That was June 24th of 2004, the Battle for Mosul. And it was an 8.5 hour battle. And basically it was 8.5 hours long with intermittent hour to 2 hour breaks between combat. And the combat was intermittent. And it was just like, when I wrote the script for this as a movie and as a graphic novel, when I wrote the screenplay, I basically had to explain that sometimes you get to a point like, okay, nobody's taking a shot. Are they still up there? Is that sniper still up there in that minaret? You know? And so somebody pokes their head up and gets shot at and goes, yeah, he's still up there.
Yep.
And then you just see a bunch of bullets hitting the outside wall of, because there's a wall there, a retaining wall of the upper part of the minaret. And he hides behind that, and they're hitting that in the area above his head. And I wrote a comical line in it where the combat medic in this story has to deliver. It's true. He had to deliver water bags to each vehicle, each striker. And he's got them on poles, and he's running all the way to the front and then dropping one by one, having them pull it off the next one, pull it off the next one so they have water to drink. And all the time he's running back to his vehicle, he's serpentine running because he's getting shot at by this fucking sniper.
Serpentine, Shell. Serpentine.
And so the medic was a friend of mine. And so I said, I'm going to have you do something that you didn't actually do, but you should have done. And he goes, well, what's that? And I wrote it and then gave it to him. He goes, oh, man, now I wish I'd done that. And I have him pop his head up out of the air guard hatch on the back of the striker and fucking open up, single, nobody fires full automatic except machine gunners. And anybody that carries a fucking rifle fires semi-automatic because you don't want to waste ammo. Ammo is precious. You make every shot count. So he just pops up and takes 3 shots at the guy, making him duck. And then he yells in the script, I had him yell, not so funny when it's you, is it? And then pulls the air gun edge. Just a little levity for a tense situation, because I like stuff like that in my scripts. But a lot of the comedy that was in that script actually happened. Like they went and took their showers. They'd been out on a QRF mission that morning. And middle of the night shit, and the sun was coming up, and they got back to the fob and headed to take the showers. And on their way back, mortars are coming in, and John, who's still a friend of mine, John is still a good friend of mine. He's on the cover of one of the books I did, and I love that guy. Combat fucking effective combat vet, and the dude is just so cool. And the two of them are walking back from the showers and mortars are hitting. And everybody's running and ducking and shit, and they're not doing anything. He's like, they're not even close to us. Like, where you get he says, the only people that duck when the mortars come in and start hitting are fucking new guys.
Yeah.
The guys that have been there for a while know that their aim's for shit. So,
yeah, after the first couple of weeks, we were like, when like the incoming alarm would go off, we're just like, eh.
Now, this scene actually happened this way, and this is when he ended up staying there. And again, the character he's playing is based off of Travis's own cousin, and it's really fucking sad. So many fucking people died there, and like I said, there were no prisoners of war. If you did give up your weapon because you were overwhelmed, you can call it whatever you want. You still fucking died. And I despise that they say surrendered. It's like, I hate that fucking word. But I was going to point this out too, that, and I'll go ahead and hit play again here. There are some important trivial things here that we brought up earlier, the alternate version. So the Alamo premiered at its 70 millimeter roadshow length of 202 minutes, including the overture and intermission. The exit music was included. But the negative was severely cut for wide release. United Artists re-edited. They were the ones who financed and agreed to distribute. Heavily re-edited it to 167 minutes. So the 202-minute version was believed lost until Bob Bryden, a Canadian fan, realized he had seen the full version in the 1970s. He and an Alamo collector, Ashley Ward, discovered the last known surviving 70mm print in Toronto. And it was in pristine condition, had never been taken out of the can since it had shown. MGM-UA's sister studio used that print to make a digital video transfer of the Roadshow version for VHS and Laserdisc release. The print was taken apart and deteriorated in storage. By 2007, it was no longer available in any useful form. That's tragic.
It is. It sucks.
That a studio doesn't take care of its films. And people don't know this, that the Great Fire, the Hollywood Fire, destroyed thousands of fucking movies that we'll never see again. Yep. Gone. And if they weren't mentioned in a book, you'll never know about them. It's what happened to, what was it, The Vampire at Midnight? Was that what it was called? Lon Chaney's vampire movie?
Yep.
All that survived of that film was a few scenes, and the rest are still images. So, for example, Max Steiner, before he was scoring King Kong. I know what you meant, Gambit. I speak typo. Before he was scoring King Kong in December of 1932, had a tick-tocking device called Mickey Mouse that signaled for him to begin. That's neat. Let's see, what is this one? I don't need a cheaper place, Tom. Glenn, it's not that expensive to find a place if you look hard enough.
What are they talking about?
I'd have to go back a little for a place to stay in France.
Oh.
There's a book, How to Survive on $1 a Day by Fodder, that came out in the 60s and 70s. My dad bought that book, and we found some of the hole-in-the-wall restaurants and stuff that did it. But later, I remember telling my dad, I said, I got to tell you, Dad, I'd like to just stop using that book, because everything we've eaten from those places, not really very good. There was this one restaurant listed in that book in Paris, right off Pigalle. And we went to that restaurant, and I was terrified the whole time I was there, because the husband and wife, and I'm assuming that's what they were, in French, were just yelling at each other. He'd come out and put food on the table, yelling back at her, and she'd be yelling from the kitchen. And I thought for sure we were going to witness a fucking murder. It was that bad. It was that aggressive. And I asked Dad, I don't want to go back there. I don't want to eat there. That's right. That's right. That's right. I was stationed on Taipan, where I learned to speak Taiwanese.
Like that.
Taiwanese. Nice.
London After Midnight. That's the one. Thank you, Gambit. We lost so many fucking films, and it really makes me want to cry. That because they have silver nitrate in them, and they're extremely flammable. And that price went up, man. Just fuck, man. And that shit when it burned was a white kind of heat, the sort of thing you expect to see with Willie Pete with all that sulfur and shit. Magnesium. Magnesium, when it burns, is terrifying. And you don't want to spray it with water.
Nope, that just makes it worse.
Makes it so much worse. That's why when we had, like, up when I lived in Washington, there was a huge fire in the town right next to us where they had magnesium in the building, and it caught fire. and it looked like the sun. It was just so fucking bright.
And the worst part is, at least with the Great Hollywood Fire, that was an accident. In the case of a lot of these films, they just deteriorated over the years because nobody cared to maintain.
Nobody took care for them. Nobody maintained or took care of them. I got to tell you something about Pigalle. My first day there, waking up, as we got there in the evening, we went up to our little room, and the next morning I woke up and I walked out. We had a little balcony, like a little tiny balcony. You open the little one single French door. You walk out onto the balcony and look down on the street. And I looked down, and there is a professional young lady that's probably about 18 or 19 walking down the street wearing nothing but string wrapped around her. And I said, Dad, that girl's just wearing string. And my dad came to the window and grabbed me, covering my eyes. And I'm like, I have already seen everything. It's like,
sounds like that moment in Used Cars where the ads on television, all the football playing kids are in the living room, and one of them points right at the screen and goes, "Look, bare tits."
Bare tits. By the way, what is that called? I forget the name of that gun that they gave Jim Bowie in this movie.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about, but it's been a while since I've seen the movie. Describe it.
It's got multiple barrels. Knock gun. It's called the knock gun.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is 7-barreled knock volley gun. If it's fired a 52 caliber flintlock, and I found a picture of it here. Let me. Holy shit, a bunch of pictures of it. And, let me just pull this up. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to remove the movie for a second, share my screen, so you guys can see this fucking thing. That is a fucking weapon right there, my friend. Can you put that up for me, Anima?
Whoa.
Yeah, they had one in the Sharp series.
Oh,
they did exist, and the weird part is it wasn't like a repeating firearm. It fired all 7 at once.
Oh, hold on. If 7 weren't enough, a double-barreled knock.
Oh my God, they did it.
God,
the absolute madmen.
That's insane.
That's a crazy looking gun, and that's what they have him carrying this. It's a real weapon, and I assume it's probably what he had, because he wanted to do the most damage possible, because they knew that they were an inferior number fighting a superior number. By the way, how's your mom doing today, Joe?
Oh, she's doing fine. I took her to McDonald's. That's why I'm back so quick.
Oh, what did she get? What'd she get?
She wanted a McCrispy. So I cut it in half for her.
Yeah, those are good.
Yep.
The one I think is the greatest thing they ever invented, that I haven't eaten one since it came out. I tried one way back, I think in 2014. Mm-hmm. When did it come out? With the maple muffin with sausage and egg.
I don't know.
It's got syrup in it, infused in the bread.
Oh, the McGriddles.
McGriddle.
Yeah. McGriddle.
My God. It's like, and I said it the first time I had it, I said, the person who made this will burn in hell.
Yeah, they will.
But they fucking earned it, because this is evil. This is evil food.
It's pure evil.
Pure fucking evil, man. And I joked. It's so funny. I joked when I ate it. I turned to Zoe and I said, this thing's going to give me diabetes. And within a year, I was diagnosed with diabetes.
That sounds about right. No.
Look at that motley crew.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, that's interesting. Thanks, Alpha. Defending borders. I got you.
Yeah, I mean,
he didn't mean like state borders. He meant
repelling
like
borders. Yeah, on a ship.
Borders.
It's not the same thing with as many barrels, but I always like the blunderbusters they had, the deck sweepers.
Yeah, those things are
for a
hilarious.
ship. Yeah.
Especially
By the way, I
because
got to tell you a joke. Before I forget it. Sergeant Parker said to me the day that he was going to teach me how to Australian rappel. He was my Army Ranger sergeant. Both my sergeants, Tevez and Parker, were Army Rangers. They're still best friends to this day. I love those guys, and I love that I still have them in my life. Parker's going to teach us how to do that, and I said, I've been looking forward to that. I said, because I know how to rappel. I just don't know how to Australian rappel. He goes, that's odd because you're a very repellent person. And I went, ha
That's
That's
when
a
you
good-
laugh
good
at
buddies.
first, and then you realize,
Yeah, you go,
"What's on you?" Damn it, he got me.
Snorty has to go.
Snortopoopas. Be good.
All right, bye-bye, buddy. Good seeing you, man. Thanks for
Later,
hanging
Snorty.
out with us. So the total battle took 90 minutes. I mean,
90 hours.
went on for 90 hours. And the main part, the final run, came at them. And in the latest movie, they tried to do it in the dark, which is stupid. It's like people go, well, you know, it could have been middle of the night. No, it wouldn't have been in the middle of the fucking night. They couldn't see, you dumb motherfucker.
yeah, it's like
This is a period of time. They didn't have flares. They weren't able to create big fires to light their way. This was a fucking battle that took place at dawn. Is when the battle started. The final battle started right when that fucking sun started to come up over. And before it came up, the battle started. And it probably ended within an hour. I'm assuming that last battle was ferocious because Santa Anna threw everything at them. And they had to retreat twice within the Alamo. But this movie makes it look like it's at noon, and it wasn't. It was like it probably, they were preparing at 0:30, and the minute that light came up over the horizon, they launched this fucking battle because they had to see what they were doing. Like, why would they fucking do that at night? That makes no sense. And any historian that fucking says that should be slapped. Because you're not a military historian.
Yeah, like before the advent of night vision and even like flares and stuff like that, like there were small scale raids and stuff at night, but nothing on this scale.
Absolutely. Oh, yes. It is one of the single, if not the single worst casting mistake ever made. John Wayne as Genghis Khan.
Come on now.
Giving him slanted eyes is so bad. I won't even get into it today because I do want to talk about a few of the Charlie Chan movies. And I've even thought about showing some of them, doing a Saturday matinee thing where I actually like show some of the ones that are in the public domain.
Mm-hmm.
And because I love Charlie Chan movies. Charlie Chan movies were the best. My problem is I didn't know until I was about 11 or 12 when my dad told me that all the actors that played Charlie Chan, except for two before he became famous as a character. Once he became famous, it was always a white actor in Asian makeup.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's so insulting to me. I don't care about the period of time. I'm like, that's insulting to say that an Asian actor couldn't have carried that character.
All his kids are played by Asian actors. So is his
Great
wife.
actors. Key Luke is one of them. He played number one son.
I've only seen 2 movies, but I really love them. I want to see more.
The only time I will accept it is, Max von Sydow playing Ming the Merciless, because let's face it, that's just insane.
Well, Ming the Merciless is not necessarily Asian, but Christopher Lee as Fu Manchu and other actors, white actors that played Fu Manchu, we need to bring those characters back and have them properly cast by Asian actors.
Yeah.
And I would love to do because Charlie Chan respected and treated with great care the Chinese culture. And the problem is people go, well, it's written by a white guy. One of the greatest samurai books ever written was written by James Clavell, a white guy.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, they are nailing the whole parents shitting on their children thing. That is a thing in Asian culture.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. He shits on his sons, both sons, actually. Because the funny part is Ki-Luke played number one son, and the other son is played by Ki-Luke's brother. So the two brothers in real life played brothers in the Charlie Chan movies. I thought that was cool.
It is.
Oh, yeah, the helmets. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Alpha. And of course, this is, again, made up of several people that were doing messages and stuff. And he gets back and it's too late. And you needed somebody to represent those that knew they were too late to this film, and that's the character. I've got to get back to the Alamo, which was bullshit. That's not what he would have said. When he turns away from General Houston, he says, I got to return to Colonel Crockett. Not Travis, because he worked directly for Crockett. And that's what he would have said. He wouldn't have said, I got to get back to the Alamo. He would have said, I got to get back to Colonel Crockett. And that bugged me that line was delivered that way. It annoyed me. Yeah, you got Keenan Wynn was such a great actor. I loved Keenan Wynn. He was oddly, what do you call it? A comedic type actor, but he was really good at playing drama. Unlike his dad, his dad was straight up for comedy, but Keenan proved that he could do more than just comedy. Because you know who his dad was, right? Ed Wynn. Anybody see Mary Poppins?
Yeah.
Yes.
Way back when.
The floating to the ceiling scene?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's Ed Wynn.
Oh.
That's Ed Wynn. He had a great fucking voice. He had a very caricature type voice. He was just so goofy. And he was straight up for comedy. But his son started up doing that, but found out that he liked doing drama. But he was also really good at comedy. And but a lot of people don't know that Ed Wynn, of course, was Jewish, but he married an Irish Catholic girl. And so he was kind of raised, Kino was raised in that kind of household with the mixture of the Irish Catholic and Jewish faith. Look, man, I knew it was going to be good the minute I saw that fucking trailer.
Fuck yeah.
And it's not like the first movie. Now, the funny part is I watched the review by Chris Gore and Al at Film Threat. And
oh my God.
Al says something so dumb. And I love the guy.
He's such a pussy.
He is such a pussy, man. I swear to God. The gory scenes, they're just like, and I'm like,
yeah, he's like,
Christ,
the violence is really getting to me.
Violence in the
dude, grow up.
Fuck, man, Jesus Christ, man.
For real?
My
Wow.
woman is more manly than you.
What you must not have seen the first movie. That's for damn sure.
Well, the thing is Al hadn't seen the first film.
Oh, okay.
And,
well, there you go.
So he brings up something where he says, well, I don't know if that's really his brother, how he's related to him. I don't even know if he's in the first film. And I'm like, so therefore, having seen the first film is a good idea before going to see the second one.
Right.
So you know who the characters are. And that was one of those dumbass moments for Al. And Chris Gore, on the other hand, fucking loves the gore. He loves the violence. He loves the first movie. and he enjoyed the second one. And I'm like, there you go. That's the way to do it. Oh, Bill. Yeah, so Bill, you're the one who said that. It wasn't Tom. It was Bill that said that. I watched Nobody 2. It's actually quite good. I'm planning to see it. I really do.
I really want to see
Yeah,
it.
Sharon Stone is the small town mobster in the movie. And they got, what's his name? Colin Hanks. They made him up to make him look older in this movie, is what I heard. I haven't seen it yet. I love Shogun, the new series. That was really good.
I haven't finished it yet, but I'll watch the first couple of series.
They changed a handful of things in it.
But the overall
the only thing I didn't like was killing off his son the way they did. It was just kind of goofy the way they did it. And I'm like, if you're going to bother to lie about, he's only in 2 scenes in the book.
Yeah.
And he dies off screen. And so they put that back in there, but then they just have him blunder, fall and hit his head on a fucking rock. And I'm like,
that was bad, but most of the other stuff was great.
Yeah, I love the acting in it. The other thing I didn't like was, why did you bother putting lenses on his eyes to make him look blue? It just looked fake.
Yeah.
Just let him have his brown eyes, because I thought he did a really good job playing Anjin-san.
No, he did a brilliant job. Maybe not quite as
good. It is because
but
I love the Chamberlain one, but the Chamberlain one is missing the Japanese intrigue. Because he doesn't put subtitles. There's a lot of shit going on. And you get that finally with this film. And oh boy, they really laid it on and let you know.
Well, I've only seen 2 episodes of it, but that second episode where the main character is lining out to him the exact geopolitical thing that's going on down there. That are you
talking about Father Damien?
No. The main character, the guy that's
Anjin-san.
He's drawing him a map of the world.
He's drawing him a map of the world, and he's laying out exactly what the British are trying to do.
That scene.
I mean,
it really does. It
did that
down.
so well. It made it. I'm sorry, guys. Hang on. It made it. It gave it gravity. The whole story. It gave it a whole lot of gravity right there in that scene. I thought that was really impressive the way they did that.
And it shows the difference also in the Catholic Church between Dominicans and the others. And there was a conflict within the Catholic Church. And it started with the Portuguese, because the Portuguese in Spain were the ones who were really the nasty ones during the the Spanish Inquisition.
Well, I'm not a big historian about all of that stuff. I'm not.
There were bad people.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm just saying that particular scene right there. It made me want to watch the rest of it, because it was clear that he was letting him know, if you don't do something about this, you're not going to be around anymore. They're going to get rid of you people.
Well, he gets threatened too, because he is an English captain of a Dutch ship, and the Dutch were being called slavers, and he says, "We are not slavers. We carry merchandise for trade."
Yep.
And the Spaniard kept calling, or I'm not sure if he's a Spaniard or Portuguese, the other captain. They end up kind of having a frenemy relationship.
Right. Yeah.
Which I liked better in the one with Chamberlain, because that's played by John Rhys Davies. And I just fucking love him in anything.
Yeah.
And he's much closer to the character as he's written in the book than the 2024 series.
Yeah, he's kind of funny. He's funny. He's got a great sense of humor. He's bombastic. That's the word again. Looking for that word. I love the word bombastic.
And I love their relationship in the book and the 1980 series is literally just shitting on each other the entire time.
The whole time. I also love how he learned Japanese. And by the way, it's how I learned "Hai wakarimashita."
Yep.
And which means, yes, I understand. Wakarimashita. And so I will watch Japanese movies. I prefer watching them in Japanese. And I will hear things in Japanese. And there's something, when you hear men in particular talking, and you'll hear, I don't know what the fuck he just said. But that just sounds so fucking cool. Oh, cookity. Sounds like I have a cockaday. Ah, cookity. I'm like, what is that? What is he fucking saying? And there's another phrase that I've heard that sounds very similar that has that sound in it that I just love it when I hear that said in a Japanese movie. I love, yes, and nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
No one.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
And what I love about the book, especially, is he managed to make a quote-unquote historical fiction that is essentially just like the main character, Toranaga, is essentially just Tokugawa Ieyasu.
Yeah, it's based on him. And they do some weird things because the female love interest also was later. And what a lot of people don't know, and that's why I kind of hope they do a second season of it, is what happens next. And what happens next is eventually the Catholics are outlawed in Japan and they're made to leave. And
they get their comeuppance in the next friggin' chapter, do they?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there is no chapter because what he did is he wrote Shogun, Taipan, and what was the third one? There were 3 books.
Noble House.
Noble House. Those 3 books were about Japan, and a lot of people don't know
actually, the first one's
why
about,
he wrote them. I bet you know, Pope.
the first one's about Japan in the Edo period. The second one is actually
different
about
periods.
the colonization of Hong Kong.
Yeah, but you know that the reason he wrote that book was because he was a POW.
Yep.
And it was therapy.
No doubt.
Yeah, and it turned into one of the best books I've ever read. I would heavily recommend if you have.
And even the Japanese consider it so great that they produced that movie. And at first, it looked like they were not going to give. It looked like FX was not going to give credit to him because they said the name Shogun, and they left Clavel's name completely out. But then it's prominently displayed in the show.
And even in the 1980 series, I mean, you have one of the main characters is Toshiro Mifune, like the biggest actor in Japan. So clearly, like they resonated with that book very heavily.
Yeah, I've always wanted him to play Miyamoto Musashi.
Oh, that would be.
But he's gotten too old now.
Amazing.
He could play the older Musashi, but they would have to find an actor that kind of looks like him to play the younger one.
Actually, the actor from who plays Toranaga in this one to play a younger Musashi, probably.
But Musashi is like such a fantastic character. Went into his first duel at 16.
Yep,
and defeated a samurai. He was not a samurai. He defeated a samurai in combat, and got into trouble over it with his father and a bunch of people in the village. If you go watch the trilogy, and we will do the trilogy on here because I'm a fan of the Samurai trilogy, Samurai 1, Samurai 2, and Samurai 3, with Toshiro Mifune playing Miyamoto Musashi. But it's a sweeping, epic, romantic film series. And if there's one person who's not romantic in the love side of things, it's Musashi. He really didn't like women. He wasn't gay. He just had no interest in women. He also, in real life, didn't like baths.
Yeah.
He didn't like the bathe. But I was 14 when I got my first copy of the Book of Five Rings. And I became fascinated with him. And it's funny because I was already into learning about William Marshall. And I drew distinct correlation between both William Marshall and not Toshiro Mifune, but Miyamoto Musashi.
Oh, I mean, he very much is the Japanese. He is the Japanese William Marshall.
Yes.
And you'll be interested to know this, Gary. Sabaton actually finally just did a song on Musashi called "The Duelist."
No, I heard it.
It's
heard it, and because I was looking. The only reason I ran into it is because I was looking up stuff about Musashi on YouTube. And that popped up, and I listened to it, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's fucking cool!" Good stuff.
Sabaton, that's their shtick. I'm actually kind of surprised it took them this long to get to Musashi.
We've got a tech. What's going on here?
Some people in chat say it's not playing on YouTube anymore. They have frozen screen.
On YouTube?
Yeah.
What?
It says we're still going.
Huh.
11 Alpha is still following us, but the others have a problem.
Huh.
And it's buffering for me. I'm trying to access it on my phone and it's not loading.
If it's happening, it's either YouTube or it's StreamYard having problems with YouTube.
It can't be
Lafuni was
StreamYard because
also-
11 Alpha sees us.
Oh my God. And what do they do? No, I don't think it's Tora. I think it was Midway. Let me go double check.
Yeah, it won't play for me.
It's playing on my phone on YouTube.
Weird. So it's just a problem for some people. I tried on my phone and on my computer.
It's playing on my
It's
phone.
just buffering.
I'm going to go look it up, Alpha, because I'm not sure. I thought he was in Midway for the Japanese scenes. But let me go look. You might be right. It might be Tora. But either way it goes, they brought in an American voice actor to fucking dub him.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so fucking bad. It's Midway. It's Midway, Alpha. He played him in Midway. And let me click on it because I forget the fucking guy's name. He was in the movie Thing from Another World. He's the guy, one of the scientists that voiced Toshiro Mifune for that movie. It was so fucking bad. Yeah, it's not on the first page. You got to go deeper into it. Here, I'll share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at. I'm over on IMDb. Would you share it, honey, to the screen?
Yep.
So, yeah, he plays Yamamoto in it. But let me find it. I'll once I see it, I can't unsee it. The guy who voiced him. Pat Morita's in it, too. It's kind of cool seeing him in that scene.
Yep.
Oh, and John Fujioka is in it, too. Another great fucking actor. Eric Estrada has a small part in it. Robert Ito, that's right, the guy from Quincy. That's the K is another American Japanese actor. Oh my God, where is it? There it is. Paul Frees is the guy who voiced him in that movie. This guy. You'll go, if you know old movies, you'll fucking know that face. He's also a regular voice actor on, like Jack Frost, some of the animated Christmas movies, as well as on Underdog, of all things. And he's one of those actors I could always spot his voice. I know that voice. What's that?
Not Underdog.
Yes, Underdog.
Yes.
I forgot
Speed of lightning
was in 1941, but yes, he is.
Oh, yes, that's Toshiro Mifune again.
Yeah, I forgot that.
He was
yes,
the submarine
that's
commander.
actually him.
But I got to go to Tora because I don't remember who played him. And you can tell it's the same production company because they reuse footage from Tora for Midway. And there it is. This guy played Yamamoto in Pearl Harbor. Another very serious Japanese actor, but nowhere near the level of Toshiro Mifune. Toshiro Mifune was Japan's Spencer Tracy, Robert Mitchum, and John Wayne all rolled into one. And which is why that guy could carry his own with Lee Marvin in Hell in the Pacific.
Yep.
And I got to tell you what I love about that movie. We need to do that movie because I love that fucking movie. I really do. They had a Japanese screenwriter write his own script for the character played by Toshiro Mifune. And they had an American writer write the script just for Lee Marvin. And they don't give you subtitles. So what I learned was that if you watch the movie as an American, you get one movie. But if you watch it in your Japanese, you get a whole different movie because they don't give Lee Marvin subtitles in the Japanese release.
Wow.
Oh, they don't? Okay.
You have two totally different kind of films because what Toshiro Mifune is saying is not shown. So you don't know exactly what he's saying because you're supposed to be like Lee Marvin's character, not knowing what he's saying. And they're trying to communicate in their fucking own way as soldiers for their different, militaries. And I love that fucking movie so much.
Well, that's actually why they didn't subtitle a lot of the Japanese lines in Shogun is, Blackthorn didn't speak Japanese yet, so you're not supposed to know what they're saying because he didn't. And Blackthorn is like kind of your window.
Well, I understand them wanting to do that, but you miss over half of the story because of it.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on there, and it's annoying. Yes, again, 1941. I love that movie. I don't think it's one of Spielberg's better films, but one of the things why it'll never be in my top 20 is because Deazen's in it, and I fucking hate that guy, Eddie Deazen. I can't stand that fucking dude in his voice. And every time he talks, I want to punch a baby. And I love babies.
But not only is it a hilarious movie, it actually kind of
that's some hate, Gary. Wanting to punch babies. That's
but it actually kind of goes into too that post Pearl Harbor panic that the West Coast was in because they didn't know what was coming next.
Yeah.
Well, that a lot of what happens in the film was inspired by the UFO over LA.
Yep.
It's one of the reasons why he made the film. Because he was going to do it from a different angle, then he just dropped the whole UFO thing from it.
Yeah, and I mean the whole but at that time, we didn't know if the West Coast was going to come under attack. Everybody was kind of.
Well, we know that they tried to. They sent balloons over, and by the way, somebody I think was killed in the 90s or 2000s. By one of the bombs that had crash landed in Oregon.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
And didn't know what it was. It fucking went off. So people still dying from World War II, But yeah, they don't subtitle. But I love that the German is played by none other than Christopher Lee. And his German.
By the way,
I don't know. I got to show this scene to Anima.
Let me be the judge of that.
Because he speaks fluent German.
You were speaking about unexploded ordnance. Did you see the story this week about I think it was last week about the German city that had to evacuate because they found a 500-pound unexploded bomb from World War II?
Was it a little German village?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up again, buddy. But wow.
I'm just wondering if it's a specific one. But
I'll look it up.
That was.
You want me to?
I'm talking about Dresden, and because Dresden was to let the Germans know you need to stand up and revolt, otherwise we're going to blame you, and you're going to pay the price for it. That was like the burning of Atlanta, the bombing of Dresden. Let me look it up real quick. That was Sherman telling Southerners, "We will burn you to the fucking ground if you don't stand up and revolt against your own fucking army."
Let me check that out real quick. Hang on. I'll do it on my phone.
All right, we're way past.
You're way over, dude. Yeah, you're way over.
I want to thank everybody for being here. Snorty, thanks for being here. Emmanuel, Tom Baker, Slasher Fred, Keith popped in somewhere. Eldritch Lord Hastur popped in. 11 Alpha, Glenn Fleming, Mephisto, Gambit, Penny, Bill Barkley, and I want to thank you all for popping in and hanging out with us. We love it. We appreciate it. And we're going to get the hell out of here. Thanks for popping back in, Joe, after you got your mom home. Thanks for being here, Pope. It's always good to see you, buddy. And Anima, as always, thank you for being here. And I hope whatever was going on today is okay with what's going on with Martin, because he couldn't be here today. So I hope everything's all right.
I hope I see him tonight.
Martin. Always worried about Martin. So that's it, guys. We're getting out of here. Everybody have a great Monday. We'll see you again tomorrow for The Limey with Terrence Stamp. So bye, guys.
See you tomorrow.